So you want to deploy updates to your application as a part of the new release that you're planning to do. Now the question is how to do it safely, right? So here the deployment strategy that you will pick will largely depend on your business goals. For example, you may need to deploy a new version without any downtime, or you may need to deploy a new version to a small subset of users first, and then collect the metrics and associated feedback based on which you will decide if you want to increase the rollout to 100% of users or not. Right? So here is where we'll use blue, green, and canary deployment strategies. Okay. Now in this session, we're going to explore how to implement blue, green, and canary deployment strategies on Cloud Run, which is a serverless container platform offered by Google Cloud, using the Cloud Run's built-in features. Okay, so we'll briefly take a look at how the blue, green, and canary deployments in general look, and then we'll get to Cloud Run and then talk about its features, which will help us implement that. Okay, so what is a blue, green deployment? So here we have two identical production environments, blue and green. Blue is representing the current production stable version, for example, V1, and green deployment is the new version, which is V2. And once the deployment of the green version is finished, then we conduct the tests on it. And if the green deployment is looking good, then rapid switch of the production traffic from the blue deployment to the green deployment is done 100% all at once. Okay, so here the main target, the prioritization is given to the minimization of downtime using the blue-green deployment. Okay, now let's take a look at the canary deployment. So in the canary deployment, the new release is rolled out to a subset of users, whether it is 10, 15, 20%, for example. We take that percentage and then we do a gradual rollout. So we do an initial rollout to a small subset of users first. Here, for example, 20% of the live production traffic is routed to the canary version, which is the new version. Okay. Then we collect the metrics and we see how the canary version is basically observed. And if it is looking good, then we'll increase the rollout to the 100% of the users. Okay. Here using the canary deployment, the prioritization is given to the minimization of the impact by doing a gradual rollout from the current version to the new version. So that's a quick introduction to the blue, green, and canary deployments. So one other quick point about the blue, green deployment here is that since there are duplicate environments here, two identical environments, blue, green is considered to be more resource intensive compared to the canary. Okay, so now let's get to a Cloud Run and talk about the features which will help us implement the blue, green, and canary deployment strategies. So there are three features that we're going to talk about. First is the revisions, and second is the revision tags, and third is the traffic management. So these are all the inbuilt capabilities of Cloud Run. So what are revisions? So whenever we deploy a service onto a Cloud Run creates a revision for us. So a revision can be taken as an immutable snapshot of the code and the configuration. So in a deployment, for example, if the image is changing or the associated configuration, environment variables, anything is changing, then there is an immutable snapshot created, which is a revision. Okay, so for every deployment, you're going to have a revision. And then the second is the tags that you can create for the revisions. So these tags are the human-readable names that you can associate with revisions. And the advantage of a specification of the tags here is you can access a revision using the tag specific URL. And that way you can test an individual revision to see if it is looking good or not. Then the third feature is the traffic management. So basically, using the traffic management, you can split the traffic across the revisions. So here we can see, for example, the revision 2 is receiving 80% of the traffic, whereas the revision 3 is receiving 20% of the traffic. So these are the three primary capabilities using the revisions and the revision tags and the traffic management capabilities. We will implement the blue-green and the Canary deployments. Okay, so let's get to the implementation of the blue-green. So first of all, we need to ensure that there is a blue environment ready. And in the second step, there is a green deployment. This is the new version. And in the initial deployment, when it is done, there is 0% of the traffic routed to the green deployment. So in the second step, you can see 100% of the traffic is still going to the blue deployment. And in the step number 3 is where the traffic is routed, the entire traffic is switched to the green deployment. So in the step number 2, after conducting the tests on the green deployment, in the step number 3, the traffic switching is happening from blue deployment to the green deployment. So now let's take a look at this in the Cloud Run console. Okay, so I will first of all do the blue-green deployment. For that, I will be using these two images. It's a simple Hello World image, and I have two versions of it. So these are the ones that I'll be using for blue-green and the Canary deployments. And coming back here, we'll use simple gcloud commands to create our deployments. So here is a simple gcloud command. So if you take a look at this, this is gcloud run deploy hello world bg. This is the Cloud Run service name, and the image, this is that version 1 image that we have taken a look at that earlier. And there's this parameter that we're passing, no invoke or IAM check, which basically lets us access the service URL without authentication. Then followed by the region and project parameters, and then there is this tag that we are specifying for this blue deployment as blue. So when I hit enter, it will just come up in a few seconds. Okay, it's already there. Now we can see the service created, and if you take a look at the revisions, we can clearly see that there is a revision tag blue that is created. Traffic is 100%. Since we did not specify any traffic splitting options, traffic splitting parameters there, by default it routes 100% of the traffic to the latest revision. Okay, so now I can access this and test. This is the service URL, which is the v1, that's the blue deployment, and I can also access this tag specific URL and then test over there also, which will be v1. Okay, so that's the first step. We have the blue deployment ready. Now let's get to the second step, which is the deployment of the new version, the green deployment. For that, the command will look pretty similar with an extra option. So first thing is, the image here is of v2, and then rest of the options pretty much look same, and the tag is green because this is the green deployment, and there is this additional parameter which is indicating no traffic. No traffic is routed to the green environment. We'll first of all access this using the tag specific URL, and then we'll test this revision and then perform the traffic routing in the third step. Okay, so I just entered that, and this should create another revision. Now we can see it is ready. There is a revision that is created for the green deployment here. We can see the revision tags, and when I highlight on the tags, I can see the tag specific URL. If I click on that, now it will take me to the V2. So here is the V2. So earlier I had the V1, the previous revision. So here, if we focus on the traffic, the 100% of the traffic is still going to the blue deployment, and 0% of the traffic is going to the green. But when we test it, it is looking good. So now it is the time for routing all the traffic to the green deployment. So to do that, we can use this command. All right, so the command looks like this. Gcloud run services update traffic. The hello world BG is the service name and 2 tags. So here is where we're specifying route all the traffic to the revision where we have specified green tag, and route 100% of the traffic to that. So we finished the green deployment, we tested it. Now this is the command using which we're switching all the traffic from blue deployment to the green deployment. Okay, hit enter. Now we can see that once it's done, we can refresh it and we will see. So this is done. Now when we refresh, then the green deployment will be 100%. So that's what we're witnessing. So that's it. So in 3 simple steps, basically we had the blue deployment, and then we deployed the green deployment, and we tested the green deployment. Then when the green deployment is looking good, we instantly routed all the traffic from blue to the green. Okay, so that's how simply we can implement the blue-green deployment strategy on Cloud Run. Now let's get to the Canary. Let's look at the implementation of the Canary deployment. So the steps will look similar. So here there are 3 simple steps using which we can implement the Canary deployments here. The first step is making sure that you have a baseline deployment existing. So app v1, for example, the current stable production version that is existing. And then in step number 2, we're going to perform the Canary deployment, which is the new version app version v2. And then we'll do the traffic splitting between the baseline version and the Canary version. So the baseline deployment and the Canary deployment, 80-20% traffic split is happening between these two. And there are tags associated with each of these deployments as stable and the Canary. And once this deployment is done, and then the traffic splitting configuration is done, then we will access this Canary deployment using the tag specific URL, and then we'll test it. Once it is looking good, we'll route all the traffic to the Canary version there. Okay, let's go to the lab, and here now we're going to deploy a new Cloud Run service. So here in the first step, we're ensuring that there is the baseline version existing. So the hello world is the service name and the image is the v1, and rest of all the commands pretty much look same. The tag is the stable, so that is the baseline version that we're having. And that creates the Cloud Run service for us. So this is the hello world service which we will use for the Canary deployment here. Okay, so now I have this table, and when I access that, I can see this is the v1. Okay, then using this command, I will be deploying the Canary version. So gcloud run deploy hello world, that's the service name, and image, that's the v2, and remaining all the parameters are pretty much same. And the tag here is Canary, and then initially I want to deploy this with no traffic, and in the next step then I would configure the traffic splitting to be done like 80-20. Okay, now I have the Canary deployment done. So when I refresh this, I can see the new revision created. This is specific to the Canary deployment. I can see the revision tag here and the tag specific URL, but there is no traffic going to that. So in the Canary deployments, we want the traffic splitting to happen. So we're choosing 20% of the traffic should go to Canary. So let's do that. This is the command using which I'm basically updating the traffic based on the tags. So gcloud run services update the traffic. Hello world is a service name. Two tags. I have stable and the Canary. I want 80% of the traffic to go to stable and 20% to the Canary, which is exactly what I'm specifying here. Stable 80, Canary 20, and then remaining are the region and the project parameters. Hit enter. Now if I go back, after the update is done, if I refresh, it's already there. The 20% is going to the Canary and 80% is going to the current stable version. Okay, so that's how I would do the traffic splitting in the Canary deployment. And then for the next step for me, I can access the Canary URL. So just click on that. This is the tag specific URL, the Canary, which should be v2. That's exactly what we see here. This is the v2. And this is the stable version, which is v1. Okay, but now when I look at the live URL, which is this one, I should see the traffic splitting happening. Like 20% of the times this will be going to v2. Yep, I will use a command to show this to you. So that's the live URL. And so we'll first of all do a simple test, simple call on that, and that's there. I'm putting this in the loop and calling this, and now I should see response coming from both versions. So v1 and v2, we can clearly see that the traffic splitting is happening when we're accessing the live URL there. So using these tests, basically we're confirming that the Canary deployment is looking good. Now it's the time to route all the traffic to the Canary version. Now let's look at the rollback step. So in a case where the Canary deployment is not looking as expected, we would like to perform a rollback. Then what we do is we update the traffic to so that all the traffic goes to the stable version, not the Canary version. So that's how the command looks. gcloud run services update traffic. We specified only one tag here, which is stable, to which 100% of the traffic is being routed. Okay, so when we hit that, then we're basically performing a rollback. So just refresh it, then all the traffic is back to stable. Now we'll just put it back again, 80-20, and then we'll go to rolling out all the traffic to Canary. Now I simply reset it, so we'll see 80-20 again. So I just reset it, so now you can see it is back to stable being 80% and then Canary being 20%. Now it's the time to route all the traffic to the new version, the Canary version. And so that we'll do in a couple of simple steps. First of all, we'll bring the revision tag stable to the latest revision. since this the revision with the tag Canary here is going to be the new stable version, we're going to first of all bring this stable tag to this latest revision, and then we'll route all the traffic to this latest revision, and that way we'll finish our steps here. Okay, so we just executed this command, run services update traffic hello world, and the update tags stable equals to latest. So what this has done is this has moved the stable tag to the latest revision, because this revision is going to be the new stable revision. And then one final step is to route all the traffic to the stable version. And then in the final step, we had routed all the traffic to the revision with the stable tag, and that finishes routing all the traffic to the Canary version there. As you can see, we have all the traffic now being routed to the Canary version there. So that became the new stable version. And so now at this step we finished, and when we check the live URL, we should see v2 coming. That's the v2 now. Okay, so we successfully finished the Canary rollout to the 100% of the users, and now at this point we can remove the Canary tag there. So if I refresh, yep, this is how it looks. Now we can see that we have successfully rolled out to the new version using the Canary deployment strategy here. So this is how basically we can implement the blue, green, and Canary deployment strategies. So what we have done is we have leveraged built-in capabilities of Cloud Run, the revision tags, and the traffic management capabilities, which have helped us. These are powerful features of Cloud Run, which helped us implement blue, green, and the Canary deployment strategies out of the box. So that's it for this session. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.